Your wash day routine is the main reason why your curls look dry, your hair is dehydrated, and it's just simply not thriving. You're more than likely making one of these three main mistakes, so let me share with you what they are. Your wash day is the foundation of a healthy hair routine. If your hair isn't washed properly, nothing else is gonna go well. I promise you that. So the top 3 reasons that your wash day routine is probably not hitting and doing what it's supposed to do for your hair is: number 1, you are not detangling thoroughly through your shampoo process. Number 2, you are more than likely using the wrong shampoo, and I'll tell you why. And number 3 is that you are rushing through your conditioning process. And when I tell you, if you rush through anything, you're gonna get rushed results. So now I'm gonna go deeper into each one of those to elaborate on how these 3 factors might be what's keeping you from getting the best version of your hair. One of the most stressful conversations I hear my clients and women talk about when it comes to embracing their natural hair is their wash day. Number 1, it shouldn't be a day, but nonetheless, we'll get to that in a second. So the first part of this reason your wash day routine is just not working is because you are not thoroughly detangling your hair during the shampoo process. I know when I say that, you're like, detangling during my shampoo process? I normally detangle before my shampoo. See, that's the problem. A lot of people are often doing a big detangling process, pre-poo, doing oils and all these things on your hair before you shampoo, which is prolonging your wash day significantly. And I know, contrary to proper relief, a lot of times people think that that's the only way to have a smooth process with the shampoo, but that is not true. Let me tell you, a strong 95% of my clients, I do not detangle before I shampoo. The only time I'm detangling a client before I shampoo is if they just came out of braids and their hair is crazy matted and has these little, balls of buildup on it. But unless it's that situation, I am always going straight to shampooing and detangling at the bowl. So these are the reasons why. Number 1, if you're using the right shampoo, you're gonna have a lot of slip and you're gonna have a lot of properties that works like a detangler during that process. Number 2 is when you're detangling your hair while it's wet, it's so much easier to work through than if you're detangling your hair while it's dry. You have the water working as an aid to slip and work out any kinks, any tangles, and any layers of buildup start to wash out of the hair. So just know, if you're going straight into detangling your hair while it's dry, first off, you're going to use a lot of product and probably waste a lot of product on your dry hair trying to get out your tangles. Number 2, you're also going to probably work a little bit harder with your hair because of the fact that it's dry. And number 3, it's going to be a lot quicker and a lot easier if you thoroughly detangle your hair at the shampoo bowl or in your shower or in your sink, wherever it is that you shampoo your hair. But when we say thoroughly, what I mean is that you are starting at the ends of your hair, working through the ends, and then working through the mid and going straight to the root. Generally, for me and for what I teach my clients, we always start by focusing on detangling the ends. That's because the hair there is the oldest hair, it has the most splits, it has the most wear and tear. So you do have to take the time out to thoroughly detangle that first and then work your way up. I always say detangle on the surface if you have to before going straight through your hair with a brush, just to make sure you're not unnecessarily ripping out hair. And also, if you're feeling a fight, just start a little lower and then work your way up until you don't feel a fight. That will change the game for you when it comes to shampooing your hair, because not only is it going to help give you a deeper cleanse, it's also going to allow your hair to be easier to work through and easier for you to get to your scalp. Because a lot of times people are not able to get to their scalp because they're just going like this and lathering, and they're never getting to a true detangled state where they can reach their scalp. You have all these strands working against each other instead of working through your hair in sections and detangling it so you can actually see and get through to your scalp. So detangling thoroughly will be a big major key on how to make sure that your shampoo experience is thorough and super cleansed. Alright, so the number 2 thing is that you're probably using the wrong shampoo. Okay, so a lot of times people are using either the wrong shampoo, meaning it's cheap, it's too stripping or too moisturizing, or they're not using shampoo at all, being that you might be a co-washer or someone who uses like a conditioner to shampoo. I don't know. I'm not here to judge, I'm here to educate. But I will tell you that it's super important that you take the time to invest in the shampoo that your hair needs. So if your hair is very dry, you might need to use a more moisturizing shampoo to give your hair that slip, something that has emollients like honey and things that are giving your hair a lot of moisture and a seal to it. That would be really good if your hair is dry and prone to tangling and matting. That will work amazing as a detangler. My favorite shampoos right now, the Honey Almond shampoo and the Sea Moss shampoo from Influence Hair Care. Both of those are sulfate free and they're very moisturizing. So you're gonna find that it works just like a detangler or a conditioner with adding slip. So using a very moisturizing shampoo is gonna change the game when it comes to making your hair feel good and also aiding with minimizing tangles. Also, I will say a clarifying shampoo would be your best friend if you're someone who puts your hair in long styles, meaning that they're in your hair for more than 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. You might be that person who needs to clarify at least once a month, if not more. Sorry, I'm a little congested. But generally, if you are someone who is doing a lot of like long-term styles, then more than likely your hair is getting a lot of buildup and you need to take that off with a more clarifying shampoo. Sulfate-free is ideal, but sulfates are okay if you have a need to get a deeper cleanse. So don't be terrified of sulfates. They are okay in moderation, okay? Also, I will say that if you are a co-wash girly, just know that should not be used in place of your shampoo. You should still be shampooing weekly. That co-wash is supplemental if you're washing your hair mid-week and you just want to like refresh it a little bit. But if you're trying to cleanse your hair, that is not going to get the heavy buildup off of your hair. It's just not going to do it. So if you're using a co-wash instead of a shampoo, just know you're not going to see the best hydrated version of your hair, because there's layer upon layer upon layer of buildup. So you won't see it as it should be. It'll be more weighed down, it'll be more heavy, it'll be more limp instead of bouncy and movement and all the goodness. So definitely take the time to invest in the right shampoo. If you don't know what shampoo is best to use, comment below what your hair problems are and I can make a recommendation for you. But just know there's so many shampoos on the market, but you might need something different if your hair is colored than if your hair is virgin hair. If you have scalp conditions, you might need to use something specific for your scalp and then something different on your ends, because your scalp might need to get a deeper, more stimulating cleanse than your ends that need something more moisturizing because they're a little bit drier and been through a lot more. You know what I mean? Okay. Last and certainly not least, the third reason your shampoo routine may not be hitting is the fact that you are rushing the conditioning process. Now, conditioning is the seal that locks the hair in with a great covering of moisture, so the hair is easier and more pliable to work through. So I will tell you, a lot of times people put on conditioner and they're just like this, like this, like this, and rinse it out. That's not enough. So when it comes to your conditioner, you want to work it through just like you were detangling your hair. So you want to start at your ends and then work your way all the way up to the root, all the way up to the very root. You don't have to apply it on your scalp per se, because a lot of times people get buildup by putting too much product on their scalp. Your hair is going to produce its own natural oils, so you really don't have to condition your scalp for real. The real focus is the strands and the length to the root of the hair. Now when I say the root, I mean like this portion right here, because a lot of times this midsection for a lot of people and at the very root is where the hair is the driest, because it's not getting as much, you know, product to it, because we're so focused on the ends and we forget this area. So take the time out when you apply your conditioner. Be patient, don't rush it. Go section by section, applying it preferably with a brush all the way up into the root. And the saturation here should feel the same as the saturation here. And that's how you're gonna know each strand was thoroughly coated with its conditioner. Definitely, I prefer you use a tool. I have a curl tamer brush, also known as a tangle teaser, depending on who you ask. That is the best brush in the world, Craig, if you ask me, when it comes to working products through and detangling the hair and conditioning. But whatever tool you use, do what you gotta do. Just make sure you take the time out and thoroughly condition from ends all the way up to your roots. And if needed, take the time out to sit under the dryer. Sitting under the dryer or steamer is just gonna help with a deeper penetration of that treatment to allow your hair to absorb it, and also to make sure that you are actually going to have that coating last a little bit longer around your hair and also penetrate, because heat penetrates. So you really wanna make sure that heat helps it to go deeper into the hair shaft to really support it with being more pliable and more easy to work through. And if your hair is weak, you know, the protein is really helpful for your hair too. That's something that's going to give your hair just an amazing outer coating of protection. So just know the conditioner process and how you do that really closes out and seals the cuticle back down, because when you're shampooing it, you're opening everything up, you're roughing it up, you're exposing the hair to everything. The conditioner is the part that seals it and gives it that smooth finish. So just make sure you don't rush that, because if you rush that, when you go to style your hair is still going to be hard to work through. It's still going to be probably tangled, and it's still going to have some like unmanageability. That's the only thing I can say about it. Versus if you take the time to really condition from ends all the way up to the roots in every section, specifically this middle section, but all over. I just find that a lot of people skip this middle section and they don't go all the way up to the root. So when they come to the salon, that's where I notice they have a lot of matting, and that's simply because it's being neglected. It's not getting the same level of care. So in closing, y'all, it is so important to not rush your shampoo day or your wash day, and make sure you take the time to really care for your hair, because really if you take your time doing it thoroughly and more consistently, then you'll find that it's not as stressful. It doesn't take all day. I have a lot of clients who can do their wash routine in 45 minutes to an hour. It does not have to be all day. For me, it's always about an hour and a half, because my hair is super thick and I like to take the time to make it a whole ritual. So really, no more than 2 hours. It should not be more than 2 hours, and that's if you have really thick, long hair. So just take the time out to really take a thorough look at what you're doing. And a bonus for you, if you're not shampooing often, that means if you're shampooing more like every 2 weeks or longer rather than once a week, this process is not going to be as easy. I tell people it's like if you're cleaning your house once a month versus once a week, you have way more mess to clean up than if you just clean your house weekly. So if you just wash your hair weekly, you'll find your hair is a lot less of a fight to get through, a lot less labor, and you deserve to care for your hair. Your hair deserves a level of nurture and treatment, because it's self-care. You don't ever get upset about washing your body or lotioning your body, so don't give your hair the bad end of the stick like it's such a laborious burden for you to do. It is blessed. It is a blessing for you to have. So many people do not have hair and were praying that they had hair to fight with on wash day. So don't forget that. Appreciate what God gave you. The hair that's on your head is a blessing. So treat it as such. If you think of it that way, as if it's a luxurious fabric, you would treat it differently, okay? So in closing, make sure you are thoroughly shampooing or thoroughly detangling during your shampoo process. Number 2, making sure that you're using the right shampoo and not skipping your shampoos. And number 3, make sure you are taking your time and not rushing the conditioning process, okay? So if you found this video helpful, if it gave you what you needed, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you need me to elaborate on anything. Again, it's a pleasure to serve you. I'll see y'all in the next one.